Let's wrap up our last presentation for the evening today. Sarah Mosaico, it's a pleasure having you here. I have to really mention that Sarah was the one, played a vital role in our Resource Connect event, not only to get volunteers, yes, a hand to Sarah, and JustServe, that it is an organization run by volunteers. It's just not because I'm talking about her, but I have to tell you that I wouldn't be able to run the Resource Connect with 22 volunteers if I did not have Sarah and her volunteer team supporting us. And she came, so she was a table, how did I call you? I forget, how did I call you? You were a walking table. So
yeah, we were just walking around meeting people.
So I called her agency a walking table.
We were like the mobile unit,
a mobile unit with a tablet going around and signing up agencies. And there were 91 agencies at the Resource Connect. And I don't think she did what, the first 2 rows, I think, right?
Oh, I brought my assistant director and we went everywhere. We got every table.
So, and there is way more that, she can provide us, that she can support us, because as you were speaking, I'm going, Sarah can help. Oh, Sarah can help. Sarah can do this and that. So let's build these relationships, continue the collaborations, and thank you so much. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say, because I only know a teeny tiny bit. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And the work that REACH does, and Kelly in particular, is just incredible, right? So my name, as Kelly mentioned, is Sarah Mosaico. And in my professional life, I'm a speech-language pathologist, and I work with marginalized populations with a real focus on caregiver-centered care and empowering the caregivers. And I am part of a co-design team at the university of that same name, Caregiver-Centered Care. And for me, my real passion is connection and collaboration, like Kelly, and so it's been a pleasure to meet and to work with her. And that's what JustServe does. Its only goal is to create connections and collaboration to support the incredible work that you guys are all doing. And that's, we wish that we could do more. We wish that we could do more, and the part that we play as a team of volunteers is just so little compared to what you guys do. So nothing very complicated about JustServe.org. It's a volunteering platform where volunteers and organizations meet. I joke it's like a dating app or something, and there is an app. It's a great app. And so the benefit is the whole community is boosted, right? And specifically, our goal is to work with faith, community, not-for-profit, and government organizations. And it is, you might recognize some of these names. The JustServe Advisory Council is made up of some pretty big names. And it's JustServe has an international reach, but it's run by local volunteers such as myself. And so we're in Australia. I don't think New Zealand yet, which is tragic, but maybe we'll get there. Ireland, all across the US, we're seeing just amazing connections being made because we have so many people doing good. But when it comes to people that cut across and kind of weave us together, it's more rare to have connectors, right? And at a national level, we have national counterparts for JustServe who work with national level organizations to create these connections as well. And for example, National Day of Service, here's our widget on their website. And I have to say, before I filled this volunteer role, I did not know what a widget was, but apparently you just stick it on your website, and we have some towns and cities that have done this, and all of a sudden all of the work being done by volunteers is at your fingertips on the website. So you can add this widget to find volunteer opportunities by postal code. So that's a clever little thing. I learned a lot through these volunteer roles. And I should say that my role is the North Central Alberta lead for JustServe. And I have a small team that I work with, and I also have counterparts all across the country and internationally as well. And our volunteers, they could be your neighbors. They're just people who love to serve and to make connections as well. Here's some local organizations you might recognize who are currently on the website. Just great groups doing great things. I have to point out though, I work with a lot of smaller groups that people don't know who they are and they don't have budgets for a social media person or a community promotion person. And so what they can do is by getting on the JustServe website, I have an assistant director who runs some really great social media platforms, and we get the word out and we kind of act as their volunteer coordinator or their promotions person, because I mean, these are big names and great organizations, but we don't all have access to the same resources, unfortunately. So now this is great. Anybody can go to the website and literally submit a project idea. Like you have a run coming up for Zebra, you can just go on there and put the information up. Yeah, and projects, they are never discriminated on based on anything, or organizations based on sexual orientation, gender, race, faith-based, as long as they're not-for-profit and they don't have political advocacy. And you guys won't like this one, but fundraising as well. We don't solicit our volunteers to handle money, but we always find some ways around that. So if you have an event where it's a fundraising event, there's lots of things that volunteers can do without directly handling funds. So you can go on there, you can submit projects, but the great thing is there's volunteering platforms out there, there's social media out there. We love social media, but have you ever tried to go back and find something again that you saw? Like, it's kind of a maze. And so here, when you go to this website, you're gonna see all of the options in your postal code for those opportunities. And for me, there's other websites, but they don't really help you sometimes get onboarded. And you guys are the busiest people I've ever met, people who work in these incredible causes. You don't got any time to go add an organization and figure out the technology, so that's why we have a team who can help get you on the organization. You can get set up, and we're just there to help. And besides that, though, that hands-on support piece is huge because we want to make your life easier, right? We can work with you to get onto the website and get your needs posted. Like I said, social media promotion. There's some really important projects that come up, and especially if you reach out to me and flag them, we can put them out to our people in all of our networks as well to try and get more people's eyes on them. Corporate promotion. I'm going to talk more about this because this is an area we found really important. Through different connections in the community with different businesses who value volunteerism, we can help support and put your needs in front of them. So for example, Radius Health Center, they recently we were reached out to by an accounting firm, and they said, oh, we're looking for some potential places that we could donate some funds. Do you have any ideas? I said, well, you can check out the website and here's a few ideas. And they recently donated over $150,000 to the Radius Health Center. And so I'm not saying, hey, everyone, you're going to get some money if you sign up on JustServe, but I'm saying that being able to put it in front of people's faces is really important. We recently had, from Insight Medical Imaging, he reached out through JustServe and he said, we have 25 really beautiful professional desks. Do you know who can take them? And I said, well, I'm sure Kelly, she's real connected. We'll send it to her. We sent it to some of our other contacts. And you know what he said? He said, you know what? Thank you, because it's not as easy as I thought to reach out and find how to help. And it really is not that easy sometimes to find out how you can help. We're trying to really reach youth demographics, and because we have an app, that's a really great way to engage. We also have school clubs that are starting to be set up so that they can use a website as a resource to plan their volunteer work in their schools. So youth is a big focus for us. We also have contacts in traditional media. For example, when we had a lot of newcomers coming from the Ukraine, we were able to connect with CBC and do some interviews to kind of say, if you have a desire to help, here are some ideas, and to check out the website. Booths and presentations like these presentations, or other booths that we set up more informally, help to drive volunteers to your needs, right? To see more of what they can do to help you. One thing I've noticed, and I think REACH will appreciate this as well, sometimes we don't know what other people are already working on. And so I'm going to touch on this in a few minutes, what value there is in JustServe as an inter-organizational tool. The last thing I want to point out is we're in the process of setting up an Edmonton JustServe Council that involves a bunch of different organizations and different groups. But the focus of these councils that have been operating really well throughout North America is their whole purpose is to come together and say, what's a need in the community and how can we all go meet it? Let's say it's a community revitalization project. Let's say you have a big building that needs painting, I'm so excited at the idea. We're trying to find some of these projects for big groups and big group events coming up. So the council will meet to say what are the needs and how can we all help to meet them. So I want to talk just a little bit about what the community response has been. And I've been doing this for a few years now, and we've seen families and individuals, faith and community groups really starting to benefit from using this tool. And also, like I was talking about as well, businesses. And here's a few examples. We had outreach through our Ukrainian postings on JustServe. They happen to get my name and number and they say, I'm with Advancing Together at TD Bank. We'd love to support some of the newcomers. How can we help? And so I was able to connect them to Janice, who works at the Ukrainian Free Store. And voila, a lot of Ukrainians have a lot of fear around banking, especially North America, and they were able to help resolve some of their concerns. This one is fantastic. I don't know if you know about the big Shigella outbreak that's been happening in downtown Edmonton. Really, it's embarrassing in Canada to have these kinds of illnesses. And Higher Good, they're part of Boyle Street, and also Radius Health Clinic, they've been mobilizing supports to the homeless population. And I had, again, outreach through the JustServe website from Go RV. I actually didn't know there was a Go RV. I heard of Go Auto, so this is good for me to know too. And I was talking to their vice president, and I don't usually mention toilet paper or bloody diarrhea in my first outreach, but I felt like I should. And he said, well, we actually have 8,000 rolls sitting in our warehouse that we'll donate this week. And they did, right? Yeah, just like, happen to have this. So I think that's a metaphor, maybe not the bloody diarrhea part, but the metaphor is you got this whole warehouse full of toilet paper, and you've got this whole community full of people who need it. And what if that bridge never made it, right? So we need a lot more bridge building. Columbia Sportswear, I wanted to get some of these. They said, we have all these boots, who can we give them to? And we were able to say, hey, we happen to know some people who could use them. And that brings me to a really special feature of JustServe.org. So I won't be offended if you pull out your phone now, but if you go to JustServe.org, you'll kind of see, okay, there's discrete projects, different ideas. Zebra Foundation. We've got, Pearl Board. Maybe you've got people who need to do volunteer work in the community. I don't know. But Native Friendship Center, I really, would love to do any number of projects there with you. But let's say you see those projects on there. But what's fantastic is you can group them by interest. So this is called a volunteer center. And because there was a real need for fast mobilization and a lot of people wanted to know how to help, but not anybody knew what anyone else was doing, it was really messy. So what we did is we put them together into a volunteer center where everything related to that topic is all together. And so you can see right away how to support with employment, with housing. And we've done the same thing for homelessness. We've done the same thing for hunger. And what is great as well is there's also, even though JustServe has some funky rules around fundraising, on a volunteer center there's a section where you can list donation links to how to donate to foundations and organizations as well. And so that has been just fantastic. One other thing I'd mention, and I know I'm the only thing standing between you and your cozy slippers and your, whatever you drink at night at home. But I just want to share how inspired I am to be able to just interact and be among such incredible people who do such important work. And although we're just a small team of volunteers, I think that we've been able to make a really important difference for the community, but it's because of what is already being done, and we're simply just drawing a few connections here and there. It's really easy to get in on it. You talk to me, you go ahead and go on the website, you put up a project, and I have some information as well afterwards, and we can get you online, set up really quickly, really easily. And what we also like to do is to help you become your own administrators, which is also 100% all free features as well. So if you have a social media person, a public engagement person, a communication person, they can be trained in about 15 minutes how to administer the website. So you can go on, you can change your projects, you can add new ones, and always send it to me though, so I can give it special treatment. So I can make sure it really goes far out to all our contacts. So I know that's just a really short summary and probably a bit scattered. I think I had too many cookies and so I'm really like buzzed right now. But if anyone has any questions, please let me know and we'd love to be able to support.
Yeah, I'll go. I've always got questions.
I would be so sad. I would feel so left out if you guys didn't have any questions for me.
Okay, you go.
Hello. Firstly, I just want to say, like, this has blown my mind. This is, like, what I have been saying since day one. I'm like, what would happen if all of the organizations in Edmonton just, like, banded together and did these things, like, and just kind of all...
Got out of our silos.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. And her and I, like, the whole time were like, we should connect with this agency and do things with them. And, like, this one, and, oh, this one would work well with this one.
I've been stalking your Native Friendship Centers for a long time.
Yeah,
so
legit.
Sometimes it's hard to connect.
And there's
so
like
it's
there's
fantastic.
21 friendship centers in all of Alberta.
I know, there's so
there's
many.
lots of us, right? I just think this is absolutely amazing. I wanted to just ask though if there was more. So one thing, as I work with youth every day, all day, the biggest thing I tell them is volunteer. Your volunteerism works wonderfully and looks beautiful on your resume when you don't have work experience.
Yes.
I always have youth like who are like, oh, well, where can I volunteer? I'm like, well, here with me. But I always tell them to reach out. So this is absolutely amazing.
There's even our tracking and records for all of...
Glorious. This is glorious.
Yeah!
This
woo!
is so cool. I don't really have any questions. I just want to say this is a beautiful thing, and we will 100% be on board for this.
I'm so glad. Yeah, we try and make it really easy. We get you set up, and just once projects are posted, you don't even have to renew them for like a year if you have ongoing needs. And then, yeah, if there's specific time-specific ones or even shifts that you want to fill, you can be as general or specific as you want to be. So
That's crazy. Like when we had a company call us because the lady who was trying to find a place to donate this stuff was Indigenous. So her first thought was to call the Friendship Centers. We've been around the Friendship Center here in Edmonton. Has been here 60 years. Thank you. Yes,
I'd clap, I only have one
we
hand.
just celebrated. But that was because she has prior experience with the Friendship Center. And I've had like the University of Athabasca reach out to me at the center, and they're like, well, we have all of this amazing office furniture, and that lady, Indigenous lady,
fantastic.
actually
So they
donated,
were able to
like-
find you.
Like, what was it, 22 pallets full of blankets?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it's all because a business bought out a oil field camp business, and then they were the wrong colors. So they were trying to figure out where to give these. I'm like, oh, we see displaced community members every day. So like they're now sitting up in our office and taking up a bunch of space, but we're giving them out, right? But
I know people with warehouses too.
and I know like with the office furniture donation, that guy must have called like everybody he could think of, anybody to take this donation, and I'm like, well, bring it over to the Friendship Center. So I never say no to donations ever, because like we could always use it somewhere or pass it off to somebody else. Like we get baby food products and formula and stuff, and because of the formula shortage, we actually give them to the Terra
fantastic.
Center, which is one of those interconnections.
Yeah, they're on here
that-
too. They're
right,
fantastic.
so this is like 100%
Yeah.
what I've been doing since like day one of starting.
I love this. And you know what? This will make it easier too, because sometimes I find people are having to field a lot of calls or how can we help? How can we help? And so they're getting a lot of the same questions. But if it's all right there and you can send one link to them, that saves you so much time to coordinate it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and we're a small organization. There's only 7 of us in the office, and we serve hundreds.
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
events
Let us
and
do
stuff
some
like
of
that
the
as well.
lifting
So it's
for
like,
you. Yeah.
This is just beautiful.
Oh, I'm so glad, because that's how I feel about it. I'm like, I ran into our member of parliament, it was even a couple years ago, and he said, so this is free, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, does the government know that? I'm like, yeah, so we're making inroads and we're trying to make people aware of it. It's just like a free tool, a free resource, right? So, and I love helping with it. So yeah, please be in touch for sure. Any other questions? Come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yes.
for sure. So because we work with youth, and the demographics that we work with, the requirement always for our volunteers is we need to do checks. So we need a police check, we need a vulnerable sector check, we need what's the legal word? Don't say child welfare check. There's a legal word for intervention.
Vulnerable sector
record.
check?
So there's a vulnerable sector check, and then there's an intervention record check.
Child services intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get this question all the time because there's sometimes a specialized person you need or type of people. You can put anything you want on your posting. The person has to be wearing a yellow shirt. You can just spell it all out exactly what needs to be done. And that really will save you time too, because a person can look at it and they can say, yes, that's me. Or they'll be like, no, that's not me. And they won't call and find out. But yes, you can specify whatever you want on that posting that you need it to be. Pardon me? I'm telling you, it's like a dating app for volunteerism. Exactly. I should suggest that to headquarters for the app developers. Can we make it like a swipe left, swipe right? And there are certain kinds of projects that I've seen over the years that more people are likely to buy into, and I know how to write the projects so that more people are more likely to look more closely into it. And you can either it's a volunteer management tool as well. Like if you wanted to collect volunteers into a nice list within the website, you can, and then you can email them all and manage it from JustServe. But if you want to redirect people to your own website and your own sign up, if you prefer like a different sign up process, then there's a quick link on the project on JustServe to wherever you want them to end up doing sign up.
What?
Yeah. So you can specify. I have a lot of organizations that deal with really sensitive issues that specify vulnerable sector checks and police record check. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, awesome. And the stuff for the volunteers, because this is just amazing. We have opportunities for our volunteers, so we will provide reference letters.
Oh,
as
fantastic.
They move on.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that we do now. I've not heard of it being done in the past.
That's fantastic.
And with the volunteers that we have, if they've come in for something specific, we'll do our best to provide their goals.
Yeah, to meet their interests or goals for volunteerism.
Yeah, but then they can be pulled from that and start working in different departments. So, will the volunteers let us know what they want from us?
I think once you get that introduction and the volunteer comes and works with your organization, you'll get to know them and they'll get to know you. And then I just think about what you said right at the beginning of your presentation. She started as a volunteer and now she's like a completely incredible leader within that organization. So you don't know where it's going to go, right? You don't know if it's going to be a one-off kind of a thing or they're going to end up. We've had some volunteers, they thought they were just going to show up and hand out food once, and now they're there every week and they are just so interwoven. So you never know where it'll go, for sure.
That's awesome. And how many do you have on your Edmonton database?
So I have 8 JustServe specialists for the North Central area, but they all work with working groups as well. And so on these working groups, we try and draw in more community members. So technically it's 8 specialists, but they also work with other groups, and our JustServe Edmonton Council, right, will involve more community members. So it's a pretty small operation, but we do what we can, and because it's a great tool, it magnifies our efforts, what we're able to do all together. So.
And how many volunteers do you have with JustServe that are located in Edmonton?
That's a tricky question. This is the thing, is right now you can use JustServe, just come in and visit. So we have 1,000 visits to the site, right? But when it comes to being a registered JustServe user, right now there's not a lot of incentive to be a registered user because you can just see everything anyway. But if more organizations use it as a JustServe sign up and you have to sign in, this is a lot of boring details. So in short, when it comes to volunteers, it's hard to measure how many people are seeing the Terra Center and then going to their website to figure out how to help. But we get around 8 to 1,000 hits on the website in a month, but we're just getting started too. So when it comes to all these connections with corporations and groups, so.
That's so awesome. Thank you.
thank you guys. You guys are the ones doing all the hard work. We're just pointing people to you.
Wow. Incredible. Thank you.
I feel like I created the website or something. You guys are making me feel so good about it.
Talking about the hits already, like, I'll believe it. So volunteers that want to get involved with an organization, they could be, sorry, I'm echoing, under the age of 18, individuals and part of a corporate organization?
Yeah, anyone who ends up on the website and sees a way to volunteer. To be a registered user, you have to be 13 years old. But other than that, me and my little boys, we have a JustServe Juniors Club, and we look on the website and we say, oh, let's count iguanas through the Zooniverse online volunteering thing. So, and like I said, corporations, faith groups, families, individuals. So it's just whoever wants to come and look. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. And so if you're not a registered member, how would you be notified of the new projects?
You wouldn't be, and that's why it's good to register. Is you'll get, you can opt in on your profile to have messages sent when there's new projects. And we also share them to social media, or I have an email list of my corporate partners and people I know that I'll shoot them out to as well, just to give a little extra push too.
Amazing.
But yeah, it is really good to be registered just for that reason. You can see all the new delicious volunteer opportunities on there.
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes,
okay?
that's really great, because I know that sometimes with the Zebra Center, sometimes we have needs for more toys, or sometimes we do have a run coming up. Shout out.
What's the date again?
May.
Is it May?
6th?
May
Yeah,
6th.
they're
That
looking
sounds
for
like
volunteers.
Really incredible event.
Yeah, so I know that they are still looking for volunteers, but I don't even know if, like, we're on JustServe, so.
Not yet. We can get you on and get that event up like by the end of the week, I bet though.
Amazing.
So yeah, because I can think of a lot of people, including me and my people, that would love to come. So yeah.
So there's different projects that I know that we could be posting at different types of the year, especially with the different needs that we have. That could be for 13-year-olds, that could be for must be 18 type of thing. But
it's hard to find ones for younger. So if you have, or item donation is always really popular. So, or one-time like painting or management of property kind of things too. So,
which is also needed.
Awesome.
So,
and you know what's great about these ones that happen maybe the same time every year is in your admin account, you can save drafts and templates. And so you just go in, click it on again, change a few dates, and it's out again just in time for the next run next year, which I'm sure will be incredible again.
Yeah.
In May.
May. Well, thank you.
Yeah, and reach out if you have any other questions. Yeah, we're here to help navigate.